All right, let's just go ahead and try to figure out the rest of what's happening here. I definitely want it to scoot up against this internal piece a bit tighter than that. And if you hop out of your sub-D mode, you can get a better sense for what is available to you in terms of your geometry. And there was something over here that I kind of liked as far as like inheriting this feature. So I'm just gonna kind of punch that out a bit, and then I'm gonna get rid of the reference. I don't need it anymore. So I think that's Shift C, yeah. So I'm just using the move brush, which is nice because it's gonna influence the verts like on the interior crevices just as much as it does the outside, assuming that's being hit by the brush. All right, so this is right now I could throw a crease on there and that would be fine. I'll show you what that'll look like. Sorry, not a crease. So if I just come over, crease, actually complete, and tap the D key, now I'm getting that. And that's totally legit, right? But another option here is, rather than creasing it, if I wanted to get something that was just a slightly tighter curvature, is you can just insert an edge. So if I, whoops, I think that was inset. There we go, insert. So the cool thing about this is if I can find that edge, go to slide here. Let me slide the whole thing. Edge loop complete. In sub-D mode is you can dial in how sharp or tight you want that to be. So it can either be a lot sharper or a lot tighter. I'm sorry, a lot sharper or a lot softer. And whatever. I don't really care. I mostly just wanted to show you that as an option. I'm going to push this in just to kind of get this looking as cool as possible. There's much variety. And then this thing here, let me see what's going on. Okay, so I'm just going to try to match the curvature a little better. And we can maybe pull it up a little bit more. And on this side, it needs to maybe come in. Right. And I think we just mostly want that to be crashed through, just so we don't see behind the curtain, so to speak. And we'll go and just pull it out. This is all just using the move brush. We'll go ahead and sculpt it back a bit. And that's looking a little sharpish. So I'm going to grab the Zmodeler and we're going to go to slide to single edge. And we'll just kind of bend it back so we have a nicer transition. Not quite as linear. Just come over here with clay tubes. Just get some of that stuff out of the way. Pull it back. Let's set the color back to its default. Kind of take a look at what's going on. Some of the stuff being as uneven as it is in terms of where, sorry, that's not the one I wanted to isolate. It's like that's really thin and that's really thick. So I kind of want to just relax that a little bit, keep it a little bit more consistent. Turn solo off. All right, whatever. I think that's probably just fine. Maybe it'll be interesting to throw a corner right here. Just evening some of the stuff out. You see that weird polygroup there? My temporary polygroup? Okay. So now let's take a look at, let's see, we have 5 minutes. Yeah, I think we can tackle this one here. Hold Shift, drop to the bottom of the stack. That's totally optional, by the way. That's just my thing. I'm going to hit Edit Topo, because otherwise you end up with it like way up at the top and you're kind of working at the bottom. So I know I want this feature to be in the final geo. So I'm going to start there. And once again, we'll just make our color a little darker. Make it easier to see. So we'll just keep like a little thin strip kind of running along there. Avoid that triangle. And then I think we'll just come out something like this. And it may make sense to add that extra edge loop. Yeah, there's a lot more going on down there. So we'll do that now. So you can totally do this with relative impunity so long as you're not on the center line. Like if I come over and mess with it, it's happy to readjust its position. And I think I've got another edge. Why can't I draw? Oh, I just went to move mode. So that's something to be conscious of. That can definitely happen. Tap the Q, get rid of it. Back to Q. Sorry, I was holding Alt. I think it will weld when you convert it. So like if you do happen to have unwelded ones. But it's always a good idea. I haven't really been doing it because I haven't seen too much mischief on the retop front. But once you've created your geometry, just tap the D key, which will go into Dynamic Subdivision, and it'll, if there's a hole, if there's unwelded verts, it'll become very, very obvious where they are. So I can see I've got this feature here that I want to make sure is in the low poly. And I'm going to hide everything but what I'm working on. Those legs were kind of in the way. We'll just keep the strip going around like this. And maybe one more. So I'm thinking maybe the best thing to do here actually is when I give this thickness, I'll just pull the wall out, and that way I don't have any extra geo in there. Although it does kind of go all the way around. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to go about it. And then we're going to need some kind of edge thing like that. Keep trying to move these and they keep not being movable because of the masking. That can be frustrating initially, but once you kind of figure out what's going on, no big deal. All right, so now I have this edge in the low poly that I can crease. I have this edge in the low poly that I can crease. I have this edge in the low poly that I can crease, and I have this edge. And everything else is kind of evenly distributed throughout the geo, which should make it nice and clean. Cool. All right, we will pick it up in the next one.